Getting everything fired up. Looks like Instagram's here, Facebook's here. Good evening, Friday night. Checking in, seeing how you're doing, hanging out on a Friday night. Just kind of hanging, see who pops in first. It's always good. Jen is here on Instagram as first. Very, very cool. And then Donna checks in on Facebook. So Jen and Donna, good evening to both of you. Good. I hope things are well. JLW76 over on Instagram. Carrie's here. Lisa's here from Wheaton. Jeff is here. Megan's here. Joni's here. The Instagram folks, we talked about this before. The Instagram folks makes it hard because I don't know what your names are. You know, Jason, yeah, I got you. Let's see. Lee, hey, y'all. Stacy from Maryland. Good evening, Stacy from Maryland. Jennifer's here. Denise is here. Karen, good evening to you. Hope you guys are doing well. Tammy, woohoo! Lee, how are you? Let's see. Pamela's here. Margie out of St. Pete. Very fun. How's St. Pete tonight? Columbia, Missouri. You know, we said this a million times, or I have, but I haven't done anything with it. I want to get a map over here, right? Get a map over there and put like all the places you guys are checking in from. That'd be kind of fun. We got Cincinnati, we have Georgia. Yeah, some of you are easy. Like Joni's saying, she's giving her Connect name. Yeah, some of them are pretty easy, Joni. I get that, but then there's some that make it difficult. So Pamela's here. I think I got you checking in. Holly, hello from Columbia, Missouri. It's Marie from Cincinnati. April from Georgia. South Haven, and good evening to you. And how come you're back in South Haven? Did I miss something? I thought you went back out west. Daisy's here. Good evening. Alicia from Northern Kentucky. Very cool. Ann out of Minnesota. Palatine, Illinois. Karen's checking in. Long Island. Karen's checking in as well. From Long Island. Oh, that'd be fun to see a sunset. It's like super dark here. It's 10 p.m. Johnstown, PA. Good evening to Christy. Phyllis at Pinckney, I guess. Pinckney, Michigan. You'd like watching me stumble over it. Fort Dodge, Iowa. Pamela, good evening to you. Lee's got an 8-day working on a synagogue's day camp. You know, it is... Lee, you and I have a lot in common, as do most of us, is that it's really fun to help other people, isn't it? So, Chrissy says, glad to see you watching from OH. Yeah, I'll let you finish it. Mary from Elmhurst, Illinois. Michelle from Grand Rapids, good evening to you. Yeah, Jason, I agree. It is a better experience on Facebook, but and Facebook gives me an hour, or gives me a couple hours, whereas Instagram only gives me about an hour. So, very cool. Laura's here. Andy's here from Houston. Man, all over the country. Arkansas. Jamie's checking in. Karen Smith's here. Or Karen, it was Ann, I don't know how to pronounce your last name, Karen. Andzak? Just a guess. Hopefully I'm right. Marie says, celebrating 7 blue dots in a row, a 4.8 pound loss this week, 35 pounds total today. How cool. Kat Dawson's checking in from Arkansas over on Instagram. North Carolina, Kathy's checking in. Yeah, but Ann says she's closing up the cottage for the winter, which I get. But didn't you go back home? Did you go back home and then come back? Did I miss that piece of it? Or because you didn't stay there, right? So, Austin checking in. Keep Austin weird, Lisa. Make sure you do that. And then Lisa from Iowa. A couple Lisas here. Barbara checking in from New Jersey. There's the IO. I knew Marie would come up with the IO. Someone's going to get it. Michigan. Robin checking in from League City, Texas. I'm not sure where that is. I lived in San Antonio for a long time, and Texas is a huge state. So I just don't remember hearing of League City ever. Sheila's checking in from Iowa. Christina checking in over on Instagram. And then Beth from Pittsburgh, about to go on a road trip with your husband. Very fun. I love driving road trips. Way more fun. Des Moines, Kay and Mike driving through Des Moines tonight. Good evening to you. Kathy from Ontario, Canada. That makes this an international show, I guess, right? So very cool. Kathy, good to see you. One of the, I know Christina. Christina says, I'm in Franklin. I know. One of the emails I get tonight comes in from Europe. So kind of a neat little story. We'll talk about that. So Laura checking in. Hello. Leesburg, Virginia. Diane, good evening. Sprengle's here. Good evening, sir. Yeah, you have a little more free time now, I see. Debbie checking in from Rockford, Illinois. Yeah, I tried to get it right, Karen. I'm sorry. Back home in Northeast Ohio from Myrtle Beach, Willa says, tracked everything today. Perfect. That's all you can do. You can only track today. You can't track yesterday, and you can't track. We could track tomorrow, but just track the day you're in. Joanne's here. Good evening from New Mexico. Let's see. Yeah, so at least our Indianapolis is doing their 5K for Project Lift tomorrow as well. So I'll be downtown tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. So for those of you who are in the Indy area, if you've already registered, great. If you haven't registered, just show up. We'll be at Victory Field tomorrow at like 8 o'clock in the morning. Houston and Galveston, got it. Okay, that makes sense. I'm done with the OHIO stuff. I get it, though. You got to be proud of where you live. You got to be proud of you. You got to be proud of where you live. You got to be proud of everything in this journey. Amber checking in from Iowa. Jackson, Mississippi's checking in. Good evening, B. Driving a road trip is easier than walking a road trip. Well, it depends on how far you're going, right? Man, you guys are a lot of folks checking in. Susan's checking in from Virginia. Connie from Kentucky. Very fun. Debbie, a lot of Ohio fans tonight. Very, very fun. Ashley checking in from York, South Carolina. I was born in South Carolina. Not in York, though. I was born in Charleston. Let's see. Yeah, Jamie saying, yeah, Texas is a big state. Susan's checking in from Hawaii. So for those of you who don't know, I don't know, was it a couple months ago, Susan lives in California somewhere, but I told her the show paid all of her expenses to move virtually to Hawaii. So she checks in from Hawaii, and it was zero expenses, right? She just checks in from Hawaii. So because we covered her costs. So virtually, Susan lives in Hawaii, but not really. Lee, I don't know. Lee, I do the show every day. I don't know. I'm not sure what you're confused about. So tomorrow I'll do a 5K in the morning, and then I have no plans tomorrow night. So there's no reason why we wouldn't do a show tomorrow night. But what happens, as you know, is this is on my list of priorities, but it isn't the number one priority for me. It's up there, but there are a couple things that can trump this. And so one of them is if I don't get home by 9 o'clock at night, which happened the past couple nights, that trumps this. But so this is always on my list of things to do, and it's always something I want to do. No, Jason, tomorrow 5K is for Project Lift, and it's a walk. So it'll be a 5K walk, and we're walking with a group of about 80 of us. So it's a social engagement versus a competitive run for tomorrow. So I asked if I could run it, and then everyone looked at me like I was weird. So I said, okay, I'll walk with the group. Heidi's checking in from Michigan. Dayton checking in. Robin, good evening to you. Dude, Steve, that's awesome. Steve says Team Springle raised over $2,500 for the Chicago Walk. Very nice. Congratulations on that. Way to make a difference. Let's see, Angela's from Iowa checking in. Yeah, Stacy, I agree with that. It's kind of fun we just got Kelly from Kokomo's checking in. So, someone needs to help me out with this at some point. Just out of curiosity, how many states we hit. And don't do it because it's just, it's hard. It would be impossible to keep track. But, we have California, we have Florida, we have Michigan, we have Texas, we have, I don't think I saw anything on the East Coast. but the whole Midwest is covered. It's just crazy. We're just everywhere checking in virtually, and there's let's say 60, 75 people right now all together. We're just kind of mindful of what we're doing. So very, very fun. Alicia says, saw a picture from 5 years ago. You thought you weighed the same as you do now, but obviously not because your face looks thinner now. And she says, denial is just a river in Egypt. So Louisiana's checking in. Colorado's checking in. All right. Well, let's get episode 129 in the books. Let's go ahead and get that done. I'm going to skip ahead a lot of your comments because you guys, I'm way behind here. So, yeah. So Lee said he'd make a map, but it's just the reality is it doesn't really matter, right? It's just kind of one of those neat things. So Plainfield, Illinois, Tammy's checking in. Forgot to add that to your woohoo. Yeah, and then Miami's here, Ellen's here. So yeah, so we have Canada, we have the United States, we have most of the United States. So we're now international. Just fun to say that. It doesn't mean anything. But anyway, so cool. All right, so episode 129. I'll give you a little heads up. I put it on Facebook just before the show. As you guys know, Nokia Health has been a huge supporter of mine. I use their products for a couple years now. They reached out and did a blog post on me, and that blog post was featured. And one of the emails I got tonight was someone who read the blog post in Europe, which was kind of cool. But they sent me this. They call it their smart temporal thermometer, which is this little guy. They sent it to me and said, try it out. And I just wanted to show you guys how cool it was because I actually thought it was pretty cool. But watch this. So you just simply take it and you press the button. It turns it on. And then you just go like this. And then it gives you a reading. I don't know if you can read it or not. You probably won't be able to read it. But isn't that cool? So 98.3 is my temp. So they sent me that. So you'll hear me in the middle of the podcast. I'll talk about it briefly. It's 20% off right now if you go to health.nokia.com. But it's one of those, they sent it to me. But, man, now that I know how cool it is, I would have went and got one. So check that out on the FatDag Facebook page. If you want to join the Wise Wingman Facebook group, that's a whole separate group. Go to wisewingman.com, and you can join that Facebook group. It's just smart people all hanging together, being focused. So it's very, very cool. All right, episode 129. Let's get a sound check in. Let's get some water in. You know what? Hang on. Be right back. I'm going to take this. Let's see if I can take this off. There we go. It gets warm in here sometimes. Durango, Colorado is checking in. All right. Mic check testing 1, 2, 3. Cool beans. That. Eric. Hey, Eric. I talked about you last night. So, last night I was sitting in my meeting room, and I kind of knew there was some folks that emailed me and said they wanted to come down and check out the meeting. And I was like, I get a couple of those emails on occasion. So I was like, yeah, this is my Thursday meeting. You're more than welcome to attend. I think personally that it's not worth the effort to come to my meeting, because I think what makes my meetings successful are the people who are in the room working together. So I think an outsider coming into the meeting isn't going to get the same out of it as the folks who are in the meeting. However, these three ladies from Michigan got in the car yesterday morning. They drove 5 hours and came to my meeting. And so we talked about it during the meeting, and I said, so what are you guys doing tomorrow? And they're like, going home. And I'm like, okay, so you drove 5 hours to go to a 30-minute meeting, and you're going to spend the night and drive all the way back. And they yeah, that's what we're doing. So Eric, the reason that you came up is I took them to dinner the same place I took you, and we had a fabulous time and just sat there for, I don't know, a couple hours easily, maybe 2 or 3 hours, just catching up and sharing their journey. Their journeys are absolutely amazing. Such a cool story. It's I should probably save this for the podcast, but it was three ladies. They met in the meeting room, didn't know each other at all before, and they took a 5-hour road trip to come down here. So it was just pretty cool. But we had a fantastic night, and so that's why we didn't do a show last night, because I didn't even get home till 11:30 from my meeting last night. So just fun. But Eric, your name came up. I said, I asked him, I said, are you guys following Eric? Great Big Dog. So GR8BIGEDAWG. I said, are you following Eric? And they said yes, of course. And but anyway, so they are now. And I told them that Eric and I have very similar journeys. We had a very similar starting weight, and we had a very similar glide slope. We both hit goal within a few weeks of each other, and we've maintained it this entire time. So hats off to him. Eric is one of those guys. When I first started talking about the 5 a.m. club, he was one of the first guys to be involved and say, yeah, I'm in it. And so we kind of battled back and forth for quite a bit. So anyway, long story to say, Eric, we were talking about you last night. So. All right, everything still looks good. So Tammy, I mean, I don't have a whole lot of rules with that, right? But if you're going to drive 5 hours to see me, the least I can do is at least sit with you for a minute and say hi, but it really is dependent upon my schedule. So if that's a goal and or a requirement, you probably ought to double check with me and really confirm that I'm going to be there. So, let's see. All right. Episode 129 coming up right now. I am your host, FatDag, and you're listening to WhysAdvice. My weight loss journey failed when I focused on how. It wasn't until I switched my focus to why that I truly transformed myself. Join the show on the web at FatDag.com and follow along on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all at WhysAdvice. Send in your comments, your questions, and your celebrations, and I'll include them as part of the show. But before we dive in, remember, when you're out of points, stop eating points. Hey, I'm honored to be your wingman as we walk through this journey together because I believe in you. Welcome to episode 129 of 129 of WhysAdvice. And I want to let you know that this episode 129, is brought to you by our friends at Nokia Health. Right now, they say gear up for the flu season with the Nokia Health award-winning thermometer. You can get 20% off now between now and October 31st. There'll be a link in the show notes, but it's health.nokia.com. And I got to tell you, they sent me one of these to try out, and I would not even tell you about it if I didn't like it. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to push anything that I don't tell you about, but they sent me one. I tried it out. I've taken my temperature more times this week than I've ever have. It seems like in my life. It's just fun and it's neat, and so I was playing with that. But it's super accurate. You just put it on your forehead and scan it across. It takes seconds. It takes like 4,000 readings. It's just kind of cool. Stores up to 8 users in your phone. So check it out. Go to health.nokia.com now between October 31st. Save 20% and get that done. So thank you for supporting them because they support me. And as you know, if you support me, I support you. And that's kind of how this goes. So out of Arizona, Kim writes in, says, "Hi, FatDag. I've been listening to your podcast for a while now, and while I'm out on my walks. I am not even sure how I found your podcast, but I am so thankful that I found them. You have helped me refocus and jump out of complacency. I have done Weight Watchers in the past, about 11 years ago. In July of 2016, I decided I was giving myself a Weight Watcher membership for my birthday. It was one of the best presents I could have given myself. I reached goal November 19th, 2016. I now know, listening to your podcast, that goal is a feeling, but at the time it was a number to me, and then I wanted to lose 5 more pounds to have a cushion. Well, I've been trying to lose those last 5 pounds since November. I've been working almost a year to lose 5 pounds. It took me less amount of time to lose 20 pounds than I lost to make goal to lose these 5. Well, today is finally the day. I am now actually down 5.6 pounds. I am so happy, but without your podcast to listen to, I would have never made it. I did not track much this summer. In fact, if I'm being honest, I tracked about 3 or 4 days all summer. I did make wiser choices than I have in the past, and I was able to maintain. Well, that was the problem. I was not working the program and maintaining. Well, then this fall, both of our daughters are now in college, so we are empty nesters. I was eating whatever I wanted. Not because I was sad, but because it was there. I still had food in the cabinets that the girls would eat. I liked them as well, but I knew they would not help me make my goal of losing 5 pounds. I decided now is the time. I've been listening to your podcast and I was enjoying them, and everything made complete sense, so it was time to work the program again. I started tracking again and working on getting my blue dots. It took me a few days and almost a week to be able to get the blue dots again. Obviously, I didn't know the plan as well as I thought I did because I was eating way too many points. I cleaned the pantry of all of the girls' foods that were not good for me to be eating. I would do good all day at work and then come home and blow it off with my points when I would get home snacking, and I'd snack on this and snack on that. So with the temptations not in the house, I did not even crave them. I would think more about the points at the end of the day. When I went to get a snack, I would think about the point value and what I had planned for dinner because I was sticking with the, if you're out of points, stop eating points. It's common sense. But until I heard this, I even had to hear it a few times before I would apply it. I did not really think about the fact that if I wanted to make it to my personal goal, I needed to stop eating points when I was out. I have learned so much from your podcast. I have downloaded your app and I love it. I am behind and working on catching up to being current, but a couple of the last episodes that I've listened to, you've pointed out that to those who have written in that it does not matter if we have 20 pounds or 100 pounds to lose. That was helpful to me. I did not want to get to where my parents are and have to lose 50 pounds, so I am thankful that I decided I needed to make a change last year. This whole experience has given me a new appreciation for everyone who is trying to lose weight, whether they need to lose 5 pounds or 100 pounds. It's not easy as people think. It's actually hard work, but it's so worth it in the end. I really had to let the comments like, you did not lose whatever by accident. It's so true. It has taken dedication to lose each and every pound that I've lost. I also love that you wish people good focus instead of good luck, because you are so right. When I focus, I do so much better. Thank you so much for all that you do. Even at Lifetime, I need the help of others to maintain and to help hold me accountable. It is a lifestyle change, not a diet. Yet there are still days, maybe meals, that I do not stick to the plan, but the difference is that they are all ready to give up without me taking permission for a day or two or a week. It's only the meal or meals for whatever reason that I was over, and then all of a sudden I get back and I move on. Thanks again, and I wish you great focus. Kim from Arizona. Kim, one of the things you said in there, first off, let's congratulate you on making goal and maintaining it. That's the number one absolute success out of your entire email. But the piece that you said that was so true was it doesn't matter if you have 5 pounds to lose or 100 pounds to lose. It's the same focus. It's the same mindset. It's just a matter of timing is the only difference between the two. So the focus and dedication and discipline it takes to lose 100 pounds is the same thing. If you're unhappy with yourself 10 pounds overweight and you're unhappy with yourself at 100 pounds overweight, it's the same unhappiness. That is what fuels you to go get it done. Not working the program doesn't work. It really doesn't. And so the fact that you finally recognize that and realize that in order for you to continue to maintain, you have to do the same thing you did to lose. And that's be accountable. That's being focused on your journey. That's opening the app. That's tracking. That's looking up the food before you eat. That's taking a little bit of discipline and getting rid of some of the comfort food in your house that you actually don't need, but you're eating simply out of habit. And as you realized, you were eating way too many points by just guessing and thinking you were on plan. And it doesn't work. Now, I do disagree with one point. You said that you're so happy. Obviously, that's great. But without the podcast, you would not have made it. I disagree. I think you've proven to yourself that you were able to do it. You found a tool that kept you focused. And what I want you to now understand is that you did this hard work because you found a way to stay focused. So continue to find other ways to remind yourself to stay focused throughout the journey. And it doesn't matter what tool that you use. If you fuel your journey with your why, you can get there. So congratulations on getting there. Congratulations on staying there. Congratulations on in your first year of maintaining it that you figured out that you never want to go back, that you have to adjust your lifestyle, work the program properly, and it works. The last thing I want to say is what you've done is so powerful. When you went out to the pantry and you actually cleaned out the foods that were there that weren't necessarily good for you, and I'm reading into your email as you threw them away, the mental shift in that attitude that says, I don't need them, I'm going to throw them away, versus a lot of us assume once we buy it, we have to eat it. That's the only way to dispose of it. But you taking that second to actually ditch it, get rid of it, sends a powerful signal to your brain that you're in control. And it's that control that continues to keep you going. So keep up the amazing work and just keep focused, keep working it, and for the rest of your life, enjoy living a healthy, happy life. Andre writes in, he says, Hi FatDag, greetings from Europe. I read your interview in the Nokia Health website about your unbelievable success to reduce your weight. I did a look at your blog and I hope to find something about your training plan. I understand that you started early in the morning and that it's important to focus on the why and also not trying to lose all the weight in one day. Well, which exercise did you do? Do you use only a stepper or other training devices? It would be great if you could give me any feedback, and congratulations on your success. Best regards, Andre. Andre, well, welcome to the WhysAdvice podcast. Thank you for being here. How cool is that as I opened the show, I talked about Nokia Health, and obviously they've supported me on my journey. They published the blog article on me. They published it in the United States. They published it in France. They published it in Germany. Published it in Japan even, which was actually pretty cool. So it's kind of neat now to see that comes full circle and someone from Europe read the post, made it to the blog. That's just kind of a neat thing for me to experience. So Andre, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here for sure. You picked up on a couple key points yeah, absolutely right. Is I stay focused on why I'm doing this. And that was very important to me, and not focusing on how much weight I had to lose. So early on, what I said was I had to figure out why I was doing it. I had a strong motivation. I had a strong why. I wanted to get healthy. I wanted to beat this Air Force fitness test that for so long had beaten me. I wanted to finally feel like I had won something in my life in that regard. I was trying to save my Air Force career. I did that very successfully by losing the weight. But when it came to exercise, I was in no shape to do any exercise. I was 91 pounds overweight. Exercise and I weren't exactly best friends, so when I started my journey, I simply went to the gym, and I use what I call the attendance goal. If you're listening to the show, you'll know that I talk about that frequently. But what I want you to do is, it does you no good to set a workout regimen that you can't repeat. If you're going to the gym and you're killing it, and you're doing such an extreme workout, trying to lose all the weight on one day, and that extreme workout causes you to have to take 2, 3, 4, 5 rest days or longer, then what happens is you never build the habit to support your why and then support yourself in your journey. So what I want you to do is, rather than focus on which exercise I did, I want you to focus on the fact that I just did something, and I did it every single day. Every morning, just about, every morning at 5 a.m., I was in the gym on the treadmill, and all I did was walk. It took me almost 50 pounds before I did anything more than just walking at the gym. But I walked so slow and so just barely moving that I was able to do it 5, 6, 7 days a week for many, many, many months. So what happened was I built the habit of I'm a person who likes to go to the gym. And so that habit of just going there daily is what carried me through the process. The why in this journey is your fuel. If you focus on why you're doing this, then as I said in the latest episodes, I want you to write down what your why is. You really need to know that. And if you write it down and you get so deep in the writing process that it brings tears as you evaluate why you want to do this, that why will fuel any how that's out there. There are so many different ways to be successful in a weight loss, getting healthy journey that you don't really need to rely on one or two, but you have to understand why you're doing it, and that why fuels you. So Andre, thank you so much for your email. It's an honor to hear from you all the way from Europe. Keep up the amazing work. Write in, let me know how you're doing. Nothing more than walking. You can do that. And tracking, eating right, eating healthy, making healthy choices, completely changing your life will completely change your life. Bridget writes in and says, "Hi Mike, today I hit my 10%. I've joined Weight Watchers 4 other times in the past, but I've never reached goal. Twice I did really well before complacency set in. Twice I barely tried at all, and I saw the scale go nowhere except for up. Like many who write into you, I really feel like this time is different. I'm focused, I'm determined to persevere, and I'm not afraid of the setbacks or the stumbles that are certain to come along with this journey. I have been overweight or obese my entire life. The first time I joined Weight Watchers, I was just 13 years old. I went to meetings, and the wonderful people there allowed my mom to sit with me, even though she didn't need to be on Weight Watchers and wasn't following the program. Though since I was just a kid, she was certainly still cooking my dinner. It was great to be in such a supportive environment. I lost 60 pounds then, but soon after my family moved to a new city, I enrolled in a private high school, and the massive changes in my life at that age were too much for me to stay focused and on track. I slipped back into my old ways, and throughout high school and early college, I continued to gain and gain and gain. Since then, I've lost and gained 50 pounds twice, but I hit my highest weight this past January at 237.6 pounds. Well, I couldn't believe it. I was nearly in the 240s. How could I have let this happen to myself? In March, I was in the process of applying for a wonderful career opportunity, and I had my fingers crossed I would get a call with an offer. I had thought for a moment, well, if they call me, then I'll join Weight Watchers again. But what if they didn't? How long would it be before I joined? And then, would there be another I'll wait till after this happens moment? I made the decision to join on March 12th, 2017. Regardless of the new job, possibly a new apartment, my cousin's upcoming wedding, I realized what I needed to do was join for me. With no time constraints, no wait till then stipulations, and I did it. It's as if the universe was conspiring in my favor. I received the job offer 2 days after my join date. I absolutely love where I am now, but there were certainly some struggles in staying on plan during the transition. Just as I anticipated there would be, but I did not quit. Instead, I tagged in support from the local health coach I visited in the past, and with more focused and more concerted effort, I've been staying the course, being honest with myself, and practicing positive self-talk, which is something I've struggled with my entire life. It took me 15 years to get to this level of commitment to myself, and I'm so proud of where I am today. Thank you for this podcast. Hearing the stories of others has truly been a game changer for me, and I consider this an invaluable tool in maintaining my daily focus. We are, of course, better together. All the best, Bridget. And she signs off, a Boston girl living in Burlington, Vermont. Bridget, congratulations. 10%. If you've hit 10%, you can hit goal. For the first time in your life now, we are now telling you, and you now know, that you can solve this. A problem that you've been chasing since you were 13 years old. You have everything you need right now to make this go away once and for all. Imagine the power of that. Imagine the freedom that's going to come when you hop on that scale for the very last time for a battle that you've been fighting for so many years, and you say, I've done it. I did this. You think you're proud of yourself now. Wait till you get to that point when all of a sudden you've hit your goal and you know that you've done it. And the fact that you hit your 10% is absolutely proof that you can get there. The change for you is when you decided that you were joining for you with no time constraints, no wait till then stipulations, and you did it. That was your defining moment. That was the point when you said, I am doing this for me. You understood all of the reasons that you were doing it before weren't exactly fueling your desire to get it done properly. And when you switched your focus to you, you were able to get it done. Now, as you indicated in your email, we only have so much focus that we can give. We cannot focus on every single aspect of every single thing in our life. So at some point, we have to shift our focus and look at something differently. So for so many years, many of us have not focused at all on us. We focused on everything but us. And so in order for us to shift that focus from something to us, we kind of have to give something else up. It's very hard to do. It's very hard to, you just can't add a new set of focus to you. Somewhere along that process, something has to go away. But when you recognize that you are the priority, and above all, you matter more than anything else on your to-do list, and that focus becomes, I'm doing this for me, I want to get healthy, staying on the plan is the most important part of this journey, that is what got you to your 10%. If you keep that same level of consistency going, we're not giving you any new tool sets. We're not changing the plan on you. Everything you've done to this point, the good, the bad, the struggles, has gotten you to a 10% weight loss. If you repeated everything that you just did, you can continue on and you can make it to goal. I can hear it in your email, and this is a post I put on Connect today. I simply asked, and I want you to think about this for a second if you're listening. I want you to think, I'm going to ask you a quick question. I want you to give me a yes or a no answer. Are you ready? The question is, do you believe you can do this? Yes or no? If you said anything but an immediate yes, the answer is almost no. What you have to think about is if you're not 100% committed to yes as the answer of I can do this, everything after that is a little bit of doubt. And it's that doubt that continues to cause us to struggle, and it allows us to quit. It allows us to give up. I want you to say, when someone says, do you believe you can do this? Without hesitation, the answer needs to be yes. I didn't ask, do you think you can do it perfectly? I didn't ask, do you think you can do it by next week? I didn't ask, do you think you can do it alone? I just said, do you think you can do it? Well, do you? If you absolutely said yes immediately, then welcome to goal. Your mind is at goal. And when your mind is at goal, you're living healthy, you're eating healthy. Everything you're doing is working towards keeping you healthy. Some days you're really good at it. Some days you're not really good at it. Some days you struggle. I don't call it a struggle. If you believe you can do it, you're not struggling. If you believe that you can do it, then what happens is some days you overeat. Some days you don't track as well. But the belief that you can do it, if it's truly there, brings you right back, and you instantly get back on plan, and that's how you win. So Bridget, thank you for your email. I think for sure you're there. Welcome to goal. Let's get the scale to catch up as you continue to live a healthy, happy life. Keep up the great work. Rhonda writes in and says, "Hi, FatDag. I want to share a recent success and thank you for the part that you played in it. I joined Weight Watchers on my 29th birthday and I achieved lifetime status within the year. But like many others, I thought I had beaten my weight problem and I quit going to meetings and following the maintenance plan. Needless to say, all the weight came back and then some, to the tune of 80-pound weight gain in total. I tried returning to Weight Watchers many times over the past 20 years, but I never found a leader or a group that I connected with, and I just couldn't stay motivated. So 1 month ago, on July 13th, I decided to give it one more try. I found a leader in a group that I love, but within a few days, I found that I was losing my motivation between the meetings like I used to. Then I saw a couple people mention your podcast and connect. I gave it a try and I immediately discovered that by listening daily, it's like attending a Weight Watcher meeting in my shower, in the car, on the way to work, in the parking lot as I wait for my daughter to finish her various activities, etc. And thanks to my regular attendance at that daily meeting, I've been able to maintain my motivation all throughout the weeks. I just completed my 4th weigh-in on Thursday. At that meeting, I received my Weight Watcher keychain, acknowledgement for losing over 10 pounds, 11.6 to be exact, and my charm for losing my 5% of my starting body weight, all in just under a month. I am personally committed and motivated to this journey, and I'm willing to put in all the hard work that I know it will take. I am thankful for my new leader and the Weight Watchers support group who are there to help me along the way, but I am also thankful for you and what your podcasts are providing. Motivation and support between those weekly in-person meetings. So I celebrate my success with you as my wingman who has helped me achieve it. Thank you, FatDag, for all that you've done for those of us who are on this weight loss journey, Rhonda. Rhonda, congratulations on hitting your 5%. You did that. That was all you. All we did, all the podcast did, all the community did, all your meeting room did was reminded you that the reason you walked into that meeting room was valid and that you could just continue to stay focused on that and continue to understand why you joined. And that's all we did was just keep your mind focused. So happy birthday. You know, what a great present you gave yourself. Continue to celebrate by staying focused. Use every tool you can to continue to get it done. You know, the one things that I certainly understand, I hear this often, is there are meetings all over the country. You know, some leaders are absolutely, they resonate with different people differently. So I always hear when someone says, I don't like my leader, then you know there's a room full of people who actually love that person. It's impossible for everybody to love everybody. It just doesn't work that way. So as you bounced around from meeting to meeting, you found a group that worked for you, but then you even recognized that even that group couldn't keep your motivation. So it's entirely understandable that we have to then dig deeper into ourselves and say, why are we doing this? The meeting is a how. The podcast is a how. All of those things are housed in your journey of your why. And so you walking in saying, I know why I'm doing this, that is what keeps you going. It's the same thing I've said throughout this episode, is I want you to focus on that. I'm going to harp on that for a little while. You have to understand why you're doing it, and you have to follow it up with the belief that you can do it. And if you doubt that, it doesn't take long to look on the internet, to look on Connect, and find someone who's in a very similar place and says, well, if that person did it, I can do it. They're not any different than I. They're juggling a full-time job. They're busy. What's the difference? The difference is they're staying focused in their journey. So keep up the amazing work. Thanks for listening in daily. Thanks for tuning in often. But you're now simply able to hit goal. You've hit your 5%. Your next is your 10%. And at that point, it's just a mindset adjustment to keep going. So I celebrate your success with you. It's an honor to walk this journey with you. Keep up the amazing work. I can't wait to hear it when you write in and when you get to goal. Speaking of that, what is it you're celebrating? Let's share it on the air. Go to FatDag.com. Click on Listen Now. Send in your celebrations, your comments, and your questions. I'll work them in as part of the show. You can send me an email at onair@FatDag.com. I want you to email in your celebrations because I want you to be proud of what you're doing. It's the first step in this journey. When you take the time to document all of your success and you tell me how awesome you're doing on the plan, that's recognition for you in your brain to say, I did this. I'm doing it. I will continue to do that. And when you do that, you prove to somebody else who maybe thinks that they can't do it. Maybe someone else, when I said, do you believe you can do this? Someone said, and that is just enough doubt to prevent you from winning. But if you prove to them that you can do it, then we can start removing that doubt from every single person who has it, and we can show them that this is possible. It takes focus. It takes discipline, but it certainly is possible. Well, that's going to do it for this time. Remember that losing weight and getting healthy has nothing to do with luck. You've got to remain disciplined and focused. Set your sights on your goal and go after it. I wish you good focus. There we go. Episode 129. Done. What'd you think? I thought it was pretty fun. Let's see. Instagram's still here. Very cool. Robin's here. Mr. Wilson's here. Bunny's here. Let's see. Rhonda, woohoo! You're welcome. Very, very fun. Let's see here. I think that's the same Rhonda, right? I'm just double checking. Nope, different Rhonda. But cool. So April says good podcast tonight. Thanks, April. Ellen says good job. Yeah, Laura 129 done. Very, very fun. So, one of the things that you're gonna see that I'm gonna start shifting my mindset to is, even though I know it and I preach it, I'm understanding now that this why piece is more powerful than even I thought months ago. And you've really got to tackle into that, and it's a little different than just you can't just say, like I said the other night, you can't just say I want to lose weight to be healthy, because that's not motivating enough, right? Everybody wants to be healthy. You can't find too many people. If you ask, do you want to be healthy, yes or no? No one's going to say no, I don't. Very few people, I guess, would say that. So just wanting to be healthy isn't quite enough. So you've really got to dig into that why. Like for real, why are you doing this? And so, and then top it off with, I believe I can do it. You have to believe it. If you're on Connect, if you're currently on the Weight Watcher program, go to my post on Connect 2 posts ago. And all I simply asked was, do you believe you can do it? And I want you to read through some of those comments. And I'm not making fun of anybody at all, but when you see if the immediate answer wasn't yes, you have to know that the brain is now giving you that doubt to say, I don't know that I can do this. And that gives you permission to give up, gives you permission to not work it as hard. It gives you permission to kind of stumble a little more than you need to. And so I just really want that answer to be yes. I want to say, do you believe you can do it? And I saw it during the show, and I said, do you believe you can do it? And a bunch of yes. If you typed yes immediately, then again, like I said in the show, welcome to goal. You can, and you can do it. I'm not anything special. I'm just a dude who's got a million things going on, but I focused on me and got it done. So very, very, very fun. Mr. Wilson says, you're awesome. I like that. You're pretty funny. Encouraging Hope says, loved it, so thank you. Thank you for that. Bunny says, I believe it. That's very good. So let's see. A couple comments I missed here. Kaylin says, I am still writing my letter and still writing my why. It turned into a letter to my future self who was discouraged and ready to quit, to remind myself how I felt at this size. Good job. Yep. And that's what, there's no guidelines on what you need to write, but you need to, I'm a firm believer, you need to physically write it down and access it, but more so take the time to think it out. So, yeah, and a letter to yourself is a great thing. But the other thing I want you to write, is write how good you feel, and what happens if you find success on the program. What happens if you don't? So, Alicia says, I have a list of over 100 reasons of why, and most of those reasons have been checked off as being achieved from losing 43 pounds so far. Fantastic work. So keep adding to your list, because you will always need, at some point, my why, people say your why changes, and, there's some debate. I don't even know enough to know if that's true or not true. I think you just further refine it, but so that is probably defined as changing. But I think the true root of your why probably doesn't change. But you can use variations of that to get to goal. Being healthy, which even though it's generic, when you truly understand what that means, it's different than just saying I want to be healthy. For me, being healthy was I no longer want to be on blood pressure medicine. For me, being healthy means I want to be able to pass the Air Force fitness test anytime. I could right now go out and run a mile and a half, do my push-up, do a sit-up, and I can get an excellent score on my fitness test at 11 o'clock at night with no preparation after dinner. No big deal. I could do it in the shoes that I'm wearing, the jeans that I'm wearing. I'm confident I can pass this test now. That's what healthy looks like to me. That didn't look like that a year and a half ago. So, very, very fun. Ellen says, you had a husband who had a heart attack in March. It was a huge wake-up call to both of us, but we still believe and you have that focus. Yeah, there's a lot of moments in life that will define your journey, and those types of things are defining moments. And so, I think we all have them, and some of them are more drastic than others, but you got to find that defining moment in your life that says, I'm done. I'm sick and tired of this. I'm ready for a change, and I'll do whatever it takes to make that change. That's when you win. And when you reach that and someone says, do you think you can do this? You go, absolutely, I can do this. Because that guy did it, because that person did it. Yeah, Alicia says, for example, one of them was to not have heartburn, and you don't anymore. Yeah, that's one of those things I put it on Connect months ago. We went to Costco, and I went through one of the aisles, and there was a bottle of Tums, and all of a sudden I was like, I haven't bought a bottle of Tums in a year, and they were on the grocery list as a must-buy weekly almost. It was almost every night I'd grab 2 Tums before bed, just about every night, and it's been, I don't know, I don't even know, a year and a half or so since I've had one. This is very cool. On Instagram, Hope says, I believe I can absolutely. Your podcast helped me understand that it was possible and helped me believe in myself. Very cool. And then she goes on to say, I'm embarrassed to say that it's almost like I needed permission to believe that you could do it. And you're getting over that and taking care of you. So Hope, I understand that. That's how I end the show, right? I mean, I forget exactly what I say, but in essence, what I say is that's what the show is all about. The show is about other people telling you that they did it, and you going, oh, okay, if they did it, then wait, it's possible. Think about, we're getting a little extreme, but think about, when the first country to put a man on the moon was us. Before we did that, not too many people, no one had ever done it. The Wright brothers were the first people to fly. And so as the Wright brothers were, when they finally proved that it was possible, then the rest of the world went, okay, now that we know it's possible, let's improve on it. Let's do it. Now that we know it's physically possible to put a man on the moon, let's send a rover to Mars. Right? But it's that belief. Someone has to break down the belief barrier first. And we've done that. I've done that. People in front of me have done that. And so that's how I did. So I saw someone else doing it. And I'm like, okay, well, if that guy can do it, then I can do it. So that's the whole reason for this show, is to prove to you that what you're trying to do is possible. Okay. So now that we know it's possible, let's do it. Very cool. Henry says, if you focus on you, the answer is yes. That's exactly true. So can you? Yes. Do you want to? Different question. I didn't ask that. Can you? Do you believe you can? Okay. Then you can. Travis is listening to you while cleaning and getting an extra fit points. Very cool. Let's see. Carrie says, I bought a dress online for a wedding that you're going to. We thought maybe it would be too small, but it came in today and it's a little too big. Still trying to get used to your new size. So very cool. If I haven't done that, let's go ahead and write that down. That's just kind of fun. Buying clothes online is a scary world. So let's get Carrie written in the book. For those of you who are new, I have a book that I write down your non-scale victories in. Just fun stuff. Used to call it the Book of Awesome. Now I call it I don't know what I call it. Just call it the book. So Carrie bought a dress for a wedding. Thought it would be too small. Turns out it's too big. So that's one of the things that we talk about, is she's adjusting to her new size. And that takes a while. I'm not going to argue with that. That takes a little bit of effort to understand that, we're doing some hard work here, and that we've actually made a complete change in our life. So good job, Carrie. Proud of you. Very, very fun. Yeah. Linda says, yes, it is possible. Totally possible. Totally possible. And again, once you know it's possible, you just say, okay, if that person did it, then I can do it. So that's really the message for tonight, is that it's possible. So, well, cool. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. If there's anything else you want to chime in with, let's go ahead and get that in the next couple minutes. But it's Friday night, so plans are we'll be here tomorrow night around 10. You want to do 10 o'clock? Give me some input. Most everyone on here is from, looks like Central Time or West. Not a lot on Eastern Time Zone folks. So I'm wondering if we maybe want to do earlier tomorrow. I don't know, maybe 7 p.m. Eastern. Do we want to do midnight? 10, what time zone, Linda? Linda, you're in my time zone, right? So you say 10 p.m. Eastern Time is what Linda says. So 10 works. So there's a couple people in Eastern Time Zone. Yeah, I kind of thought that too. What's interesting is I do 10 because that's the scene like it works the best for me. But the interesting thing about 10 is 10 means it's like 6 or 7 on the West Coast, right? So yeah, 6, 7, and but a lot of the folks are coming in from the West Coast, so very cool. But all right, so we'll stick with 10 o'clock for tomorrow night. That's the plan. Don't hold me to it, because if something pops up, something pops up. But as of right now, the plan is tomorrow 10 o'clock Eastern, and we'll be back here. Like I said, I do it based on when I can squeeze it in. So I don't know what our plans are tomorrow evening. I don't think we have anything scheduled, but outside of then my 5K walk in the morning. So I may go live in the morning tomorrow Eastern Time around, but maybe between 8 and 9 as I'm doing the 5K walk, just to kind of check in. So if you guys are around in the morning, I may just do a quick little pop in, say hi from the group. Who knows? But cool. So thank you for being here. Wish you the greatest of focus. Keep up the amazing work. What you're doing is hard work. It really is. But it's so worth it. It's so worth it. And you can do it. So with that, have a great night. Keep up the great work. Reach out. What I want you to do now is reach out and find someone else who maybe answered no to that connect post. It's a little easier for some of you guys to get in there sometimes than it is me, but find someone in there who said, I'm not sure, who didn't answer yes, and go save them. Go bring them with you. Have a great night. Take care.